It seems like money can be stressful when there's good times. So when we talk about financial hardships or talk about hard times with financial crisis, volatility in the market, maybe a recession, maybe even another depression, what are some habits and what are some ways that we can go and start preparing for that, making sure that we are on good, solid financial ground to where all of a sudden, if that stuff happens, we've had good habits to where we can ebb and flow and make our way through the tough times and the hard financial times. What are some habits that we can all do better on, learn from, and start developing so that way when times get tough, it won't matter because we will stick to the game plan. That's what today's video is going to be about, and it's going to be a good one. So let's jump into it. Video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. As you can see, we've had some rain. The garden is looking good though, and so we enjoy the rain coming, especially when we have our seedlings planted for these big monster gardens we have. Thank you for being here today. Welcome to the Max. If you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay. But let us know what you think about this video. It helps us so much to build a community and talk amongst ourselves. So if you have some words of wisdom that you can share below, share it, and it may help someone else out. So let's jump into the video today. What are some habits and things that we should be doing when times are okay, not volatile as much as what it can be if all of a sudden we see another Great Depression? Let's jump into it today. First habit that we need to talk about is understanding that when money runs out, it's out. Now, what I mean by that is I practice putting cash in my wallet. You feel the cash in your wallet, it's thick, and you're thinking, wow, I've got money. It makes you feel good, doesn't it? When you get paid and all of a sudden you've paid a few of your bills and you've got money left over to do whatever you need to get done for the month or week or however you do your budget. When that money runs out, we have to learn that's all we got. So for instance, if you set aside a discretionary fund of $20, $50, $100, $500, whatever your budget is, once you're done for the month with that fund, you're done. Studies show that when we pay cash for things and when we learn to use what we have in our money, we learn to be more frugal, we learn to be more budget oriented. When we're actually passing out those dollars, those hard-earned dollars, it tends to make us a little bit more aware of, hey, do we really need this? We tend to spend about 25 to 30% less than if we're using plastic. So first and foremost, you need to learn to use cash. But when you use cash, personally using cash, it helps us be more frugal, it helps us spend less, and it helps us really adhere to the budget because we feel it in our wallet. We feel our wallet getting smaller. We feel our pocketbooks and our purses get smaller. We see those dollar bills getting paid, and it starts affecting us, saying, oh, do we need to release that kind of money? When we're actually passing the cash and using cash, it will help us be more frugal. So learn to do that. Now, another benefit of using cash, and we've talked about this in any situation where the crap hits the fan, you can't always use digitized money. You can't always use gold, or you can't always use Bitcoin. So right now, why cash is cash, and cash is still king. And even though we know the dollar is falling, it's not falling yet. So having cash will help you budget, save money, also spend wisely. But no matter what goes on, cash is still king as of right now, and you can purchase things almost in a parallel style, decentralized way where people don't know everything that you're purchasing. So learn to use cash. It'll help you save some money, and it's a good habit form as we get into a tougher economy. A lot of comments we get when we do buy this now or stockpile videos is they'll say, well, we don't have the extra money, we don't have the income. Oh, you can buy it because you have more income. Well, let me kind of stop you right there. We got to learn to quit making excuses, and here's why I'm saying this. You have to maybe find another side hustle or a multiple stream of income. So number two is, in the day of having one simple job to provide for your household, as much as we want that, we live in a quote unquote convenient society. We live in a time where we want what we want, and when we want it, we don't have the money to pay for it, so then therefore we start paying with credit cards, or then we get ourselves so tied up in debt we have no discretionary income. So that's when I go back and say, we've put ourselves in those precarious situations, so now we have to look at multiple streams of income. Now, there's two reasons that you want multiple streams of income. First, it allows more money to come into your household to be able to utilize. That allows you to buy the preps, that allows you to buy the stockpile, but it allows you to, number two, diversify your money coming in. When we get into financial hard times, you have a job, I have a job. If all of a sudden one job goes out from under you, if you have a side hustle going, or you have a multiple stream of income going in another form, then you're at least not flat broke and zero income coming in. Now, we need to provide for our families, male or female, depending on how your family is structured. You need to provide for your family. But when you can look at it and say, you know what are some other ways I can make money? I'm gonna tell you, for instance, here, what we do. I work a full-time job. Also, along with my full-time job, I own a farm, and we're running this farm for side hustles. Not only are we providing stuff for us to save money, we're also providing things to grow and sell. Misty has been harvesting elderberry and doing cuttings. She will sell those cuttings that she's worked hard on her mother plants, to then turn around and sell those cuttings. That will make a few $100s just that quick. Can we make jams? Can we make butter? Can we make whatever it is? Can you sell eggs? Can you do something like that? That works for us because we live on a farm. That may not work for you. You can look at ways to make soap. You can look at ways to do some other kind of side hustle. Maybe it's taking a temporary job for 15 hours a week, working tables or delivering pizzas like Dave Ramsey always says. You have to find what's best for you, but you may need to develop a side hustle. Now, if all of a sudden you're at an age where you think, I can't go do manual labor, we're in a digitized world where you can make money online. You can do something and find ways to bring a little bit more money into your home. That will allow you to then not only save, but to diversify your monies coming in, and then be able to utilize those funds to buy the preps you're needing for harder times. So number 2 would be multiple streams of income. Why? Because it allows you to bring more money in, especially temporarily, if you're saying, hey, I want to get out of debt, or I want to buy some more preps, or we're needing to do this project and we're not wanting to go into debt. Or it just simply is diversification, to where if all of a sudden one job falls out from under you, you have some other income coming in supplementally, and it will help you not get as stressed. Your marriage won't be on the rocks as much because you are working together to try to figure out, okay, how can we take this side hustle now and make a better revenue stream, or can this revenue stream get us to the next level until another job comes around? So number 2, multiple streams of income. Wants versus needs. Okay, so if we are looking at what do we need or what do we want, it goes back to the money situation with cash. If we buy with cash, we realize what we need and what we don't need. A lot of times when we swipe credit cards or when we're buying online, it tends to be stuff that we may not need as much. Do you need it? So here's what we do. If we think we need something, we may not buy it right then. We may wait a week. When we wait a week, we realize it may have been a want, not a need. Or we may need it, but we may not need it just like right now. Or instead of buying this, can we rent it? Can we borrow it from someone? Just this week, we have someone who is going to be using our plucker and going to be using our scalder for their own chicken butchering. Now, this is 2 parts. Is that your side hustle where you can rent out equipment? Or is it one of those things where you're building a neighborly community? It takes a village style to be a prepper and a survival mentality. So for us, we're not charging this person. Now, if I needed side hustle money, that could be a way we could rent out stuff. But it also is helping because we're building rapport with people, because we want them to be able to utilize our stuff. Because if we work together in any situation, we're building a better community. And not only that, he's not having to purchase something. So it helps us work together. So number 3, on both sides of this, learn to borrow things so you won't have to purchase. Learn to see what your wants are versus your needs, and then maybe take a pause before you think you need it. Don't buy it. We live in a convenient society, remember, so we want things now. We want to purchase it on Prime, have it here in 2 days. It's all good and all. But if we're on a budget, we're trying to live in a part where if all of a sudden money comes out from under us, or all of a sudden something really bad happens in our economy and we see a crisis, that kind of helps us say, okay, was it really something I needed? Because if worse was worse, I have this and I don't have to have that. Yes, it would be good to have, but it's not a necessity right now. So learn to say what is wants, what are needs. If I think I need it, give me a week. Let's think about it a little bit more. Pray about it if you're a spiritual person. And then let's learn to borrow a little bit. So it comes down to not spending money just because you got it right now. One of the biggest problems when it comes to finances is debt. We see it as a nation, we see it as states, we see it regionally, we see it in our cities, and of course we see it in our homes. I cannot stress enough, number 4, getting out of debt. Personally, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to be a slave to the lender. Now, we all had debts and have have had times of being in debt, so we understand what that means. But there's no greater feeling than when you're out of debt. So that side hustle, it can help pay off the debts. Work hard so you can get out of debt. Learn to be on a budget so you can get out of debt. Whatever it takes, get out of debt. You don't need to make those extra purchases, especially if they're with debt. Your marriage, your life, your home, your stress level will all be better out of debt. Debt will cause more problems. So if you're not in debt or you're almost out of debt, try to stay that way, because when you go into financial tough times as a world as a whole, it's going to be a whole lot better without debt. It will be a whole lot easier and a lot less stressful without debt. The last point I want to bring up is, and we can't make excuses on this, and we can't say we're too busy, but the last point is we have to get back to a skill set that we lost, especially over the last few generations. Can you preserve meat? Can you grow gardens? Can you do those things? Can you butcher? Can you save seeds? Can you sew? Can you mend clothing? A lot of those skills were the only way people survived going through the Depression. Well, in our day and time, we actually live a more convenient life, less skilled life, and a lot of people don't know how to do that anymore. So quit making excuses and learn some skills. Those skills not only could be a bartering trade, it could be something that saves your life. If you don't know how to hunt and fish, you don't know how to skin a fish, you don't know how to hunt a deer or field dress a deer, if you don't know how to butcher or break down your meat, if you don't know how to grow your gardens, those things can be very detrimental in a time of financial crisis. When it comes to sustainability and living a life that is something that you have to kind of take responsibility for a little bit more when, you know, government's not there, when neighbors are not there, when you're having to do these things on your own, when financial times really get tough, can you do it? Can you fix pipes? Can you weld? Can you build? Can you build a structure? Can you close up a house if something goes wrong? Skills. Learn skills and don't make excuses. Don't say you're too busy to learn them. Take the time and do it. If you want to raise animals, learn how to raise them. Learn how to raise bees, rabbits, and chickens for the smaller houses or smaller yards. Those are very easy animals to raise, and a lot of times people won't even know you're raising them, which could be good and can be an asset to you. If it's gardens, learn how to raise gardens. Learn how to do raised beds. Learn how to save seeds. All these things can go along with that side hustle that we're talking about and having another multiple stream of income. These are good skills to have. No more excuses. So when times get tough, these few habits could be life-changing, and it can help you get through some of the toughest times that we may face in our generations. Doing the smart policies now financially, it helps us grow together as a family and be able to go through the tough times together. We build these kind of things. We do this. We prepare this way to go through when times get tougher. So hopefully this video helps. My goal is to encourage you. Don't fear what you're going into, because we're gonna see tougher financial times. Please understand that. I honestly believe that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to be a realist with you. As the writing's on the wall, we're gonna see a dollar fall. We're gonna see volatility in the market. When you build good habits, it helps those good habits go through the bad times and will help you get through to the other side. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video, what you would add, what you'd take away. Just comment below, give us a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're new to the channel, go down here and press subscribe. You subscribing, you commenting, and you giving us a thumbs up really does help us, because it helps us get into the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure does mean a lot to us. So please give us a thumbs up. Remember, this is Easter weekend. Resurrection Sunday is tomorrow. Have your family in church. I think it's really good for you, and ultimately the reason we do all the things we do is because we see Christ in it, and he was resurrected on Easter. Happy Resurrection Weekend. Happy Easter to your family. God bless you.
I promise nobody can get in their way or steal the show. They're in love now, and I wanted you to know.